Hey everybody, welcome back. Holy Joe Rock and Roll here with Love Dancing Music and Fun, LDMF. The third song on the album is called His Favorite Word, and it's basically a biography, a story of a guy I knew named Brian. The song starts out, his name was Brian. He was from South Africa. He was white, but not an Afrikaner, and that's all true. Really cool guy. We used to do karaoke together. Great singer, great performer. Um, Super dude. Only the problem is that he had this problem with. He's originally from South Africa. Obviously, as I said, he's white, but he's not an Afrikaner. He happens to be half German and half Lebanese. So he looks white, though. He looks like a German. He looks like he could be German. He looks like a white European, but he's half Lebanese. So I'm just asking the question. I mean, are Lebanese white? I mean, they're considered Caucasian, but just like the Italians, even the Irish were not considered white for God's sake, right? So all of a sudden, white has become this term, really almost a negative term, right? If you're white, you're automatically considered a racist in some circles, and you have no rights, and people can discriminate against you, and all that good stuff. So whatever. Anyways, he's E. Michael Jones says that a white boy is a Protestant who doesn't go to church anymore. So I think that encapsulates Brian. I don't think he doesn't go to church anymore. I think he's atheist. He doesn't believe in God. So instead of being a German Catholic or even a Lebanese Christian, Lebanese Catholic, or what are they called? They're called uh, Maronite, Maronite Christian. It's an apostolic church. It's one of the first 12 churches. So anyway, instead of embracing that as his identity, he's adopted the white identity. And the problem that I had with him was that he would constantly blackpill, send messages blackpilling me and a few other guys that were in his chat group. And I'm the only guy who was pushing back because he would show us something and say get angry. So I'm saying, okay, so I am angry. So now what? Now what? I mean, just to make somebody angry is not going to solve the problem. And I was kind of being a jerk. I'll be honest. I'll try to, but also playing devil's advocate, saying, look, if the problem is so-called these black people in Africa, in South Africa, that are killing white people, um, in fact, the second phrase says he hates the blacks there because they're killing the white farmers, and this is what he told me. And then it kicks into the refrain, and the chorus is that he won't say a certain word. He says that bigger is his favorite word, but he'll never use it in public. Now, obviously, I'm saying bigger instead of the other word, but I say it. I say the word. It's just a word. But if you're going to tell the story, you have to use the word. If you're going to be angry at a group of people, if that's what you're going to call them, you got to call them what they are. If that's what you believe they are, then that's what you should call them, right? I mean, if there's a rat in your room, you're going to call it a rat. There's a rat in my room. I got to kill the rat. If you don't identify your enemy, how can you expect to solve the problem? And then, what are the steps besides getting angry? What can you do? So this is a little bit poking fun at the guy. And again, I still like the guy. I don't have any contact with him in probably going on 3 years now. Since COVID started, he stopped doing karaoke. He again, he got really scared. He was like scared. I'm probably 10 years older than he is, and he claimed that he was old. I'm not old, and I don't have any comorbidities, and I was not afraid of this thing. I knew it was a scam. It was a bad flu concocted in a lab and released on the public, probably intentionally or maybe accidentally. Certainly, if it was accidentally, it was then weaponized to take down a president using these absentee ballots, right? That's obvious. That's obvious for anybody to see. So, the fact that the courts wouldn't even look at these accusations, especially we saw anybody who watched the news during this time saw what happened in Philadelphia, where the Republicans were not allowed to view the ballots being counted. They were physically not allowed to see by security guards that prevented them from going in those rooms. And then even there was rooms that were they put a cardboard up on the glass on the room so you couldn't see what was going on inside. That's just one example, but there's other examples of, they stopped counting, and then these two women pulled out a black box from under a table and then started counting those ballots. But the count was stopped. So what are they doing? Obviously fraud involved there. Or okay, look, if you say, oh, it wasn't fraud, they were real ballots, it certainly has the appearance of fraud, and that's important. Anyway, getting back to Brian and this song, I think it's a good song. It's not dark. It's actually kind of a happy song. It just uses some language that has to be used to explain what the situation is and describe my friend. So honestly, I hope for the best for this guy. I know he had been married. He had one child when I knew him. I think during COVID or right before COVID, he had a second child, and so maybe he's kind of settled down. He's kind of blacklisted me and our friend group. Changed his number, like all of his social media he scrubbed. So I think he's kind of paranoid. And anyway, that's his problem. That's not mine. But I wish the best for him. Hope everything turns out good for him. But this is his song. It's called His Favorite Word. It is the third song on the track on the CD, and I hope you'll check it out. Next song coming up will be I Love Poland, and we'll talk about it in the next video.